Дамы и господа, уважаемые телезрители телеканала М1 Global, мы продолжаем наш бойцовский вечер и представляем вам седьмой бой в промежуточной весовой категории до 65 килограмм. И в красном углу октагона появляется боец Беларусь-Грузия Турхан Сулейманов. Октагона приглашается боец из Беларуси Ilya Berezhnov. Дамы и господа, в красном углу двукратный чемпион Республики Беларусь по боевому самбо, бронзовый призер чемпионата Республики Беларусь по ММА, серебряный и бронзовый призер международных турниров по дзюдо, кандидат в мастера спорта по дзюдо и самбо, финалист гран-при турнира NFG 11, спортивный клуб «Патриот Полоцк», Беларусь-Грузия, Турхан Сулейманов. Его оппонент в синем углу октагона, кандидат по таиландскому боксу, неоднократный призер чемпионатов Республики Беларусь по грэпплингу и панкратиону, серебряный призер открытого кубка мира по панкратиону и грэпплингу, финалист гран-при турнира NFG 14, победитель турниров NFG 4 и NFG 6. Клуб «Прайд Вилейка» Ilya Berezhnov. Рефери в октагоне Вадим Куцый.
Бойцы на середину. Внимательно слушаем мои команды. Правила не нарушаем. Покажите честный, красивый бой. Пожали руки. По углам.
Turhan Suleimanov, Ilya Berezhnov, beg my pardon, as we begin with Berezhnov and Suleimanov.
Oh, there's definite height difference here. Now, it's a tough call to make because when you're the bigger fighter and you fight a smaller guy, you either stand tall or you squat down a little bit and you kind of look him in the eye.
Southpaw stance for Suleimanov, back to orthodox. Attacking the bigger Berezhnov, looking for the oblique kick, and the smaller, the shorter Suleimanov trying to navigate a path to close the distance. Longer-limbed Berezhnov and Suleimanov looking to time the takedown underneath the striking attempts.
Yeah, and Berezhnov is starting with some power shots and a nice hip toss there, but he didn't really square his hip, so he got quickly reversed. Now he's on the bottom, big guy on the bottom. I hope he moves a lot to sort of use that weight advantage here, that height advantage, create some leverage out of it.
Suleimanov in his 7th fight. For Berezhnov, this is his 5th fight. And now, whoa, Suleimanov picks up and drops Berezhnov. And Berezhnov on the receiving end of, well, an ankle lock attempt by Suleimanov.
Yeah, and he's got pretty good position for it. He's slowly advancing it here. You can see Berezhnov is trying to open his legs up because that's what takes away the position. As long as he can hold sort of that leg position without getting smashed or punched, which is what was happening there.
Berezhnov back to his feet. Suleimanov taken down by Berezhnov, looking to move to side control. And, oh, almost open guard.
Yeah, and Berezhnov has good takedowns. He's doing good on the inner game of taking down and getting position. He gets a little bit lax once he gets him taken down, though. But now that he's on top, he's got his chin caught in position. That's one of the keys to wrestling. Keep your head on the inside. Don't get caught in a guillotine. While this might not finish him, it certainly sucks the life out of you early in a round. It looked like he was going to tap there.
Suleimanov, combat sambo specialist. Berezhnov, candidate for Master of Sports in Thai boxing, and he is on his feet now, and he'll look to take it to Suleimanov in the striking department. Longer reach.
Berezhnov playing the tall guy game now. He's decided to stand tall. He took a counter left there, right on the button, but it looks like he can take a pretty good shot. You see him whipping those shoulders down. That was what Emelianenko used to do. Fedor Emelianenko used to lean his whole body in, whip that shoulder down. It adds a little extra power to that punch.
Overhand right lands for Berezhnov, and then he lands a kick, push kick to Suleimanov, and Suleimanov trying for the takedown, but Berezhnov able to utilize his balance to land in top position in the open half guard, looking to pass the guard. And what a reversal by Suleimanov.
Suleimanov has got nice, powerful explosion in his hips. So he really balls up and blasts them when he wants to get out of position. And you see him here in his top position. Last time he moved into a leg lock. I'd like to see if he's going to do it again. It looks like he is. Those punches sort of set up the position, but he ends up with the back instead. I like the way he's grappling here.
Suleimanov delivering some ground and pound, trying to thread his right hand through the opening. Berezhnov, though, trying to reverse, trying to get back up to his feet. Suleimanov looking to put his hooks, but now Berezhnov. It's almost a modified crucifix here by Suleimanov. And Berezhnov trying to take advantage of being in top position.
Yeah, this is where Berezhnov can do some damage. He's a taller guy. He's got more distance. If he can keep this cage position and get some nice shots in here, try to slow the smaller guy down.
Under 30 seconds left in the opening round. Berezhnov with the waist lock from behind on Suleimanov. Suleimanov trying to break the grip, being taken down yet again, looking for the standing switch there, but turns into Berezhnov, potentially guillotine choke attempt. Final 10 seconds of the round. So Suleimanov and Berezhnov complete the opening 5 minutes of action. And Berezhnov indicating that that was a grueling first frame.
Yeah, they really, felt each other out quickly, both throwing some bombs, throwing some techniques from the grappling side. I think they both established what they're hoping to do in this. We got one pretty good striker who can also grapple, and we got one guy who's, he looks to be a better grappler, but he's got great flows on the ground when it comes to submission technique. So I would definitely put Suleimanov's advantage in the submission area.
Seventh fight of a 10-fight card here, the road to New Fighting Generation 3, and of course watching it on Clash TV, a new interactive experience where you can be a part of the festivities, the fisticuff festivities here as we get set for round number 2. Turhan Suleimanov in the red tape, Ilya Berezhnov in the blue tape.
Suleimanov's working his way in, being a little more judicial with them strikes, and landing nicely. He's forced his opponent to punch and went underneath him. That's where height becomes a disadvantage when you stand up tall.
And Suleimanov with the takedown, Berezhnov with the full guard, but Berezhnov now trying to neutralize Suleimanov. And there, Suleimanov looking for the leg lock.
Yeah, he kind of gave it away that he was sitting into it, but when he sat into it, he threw that right knee over and got a good leg position. So he's in position to do the submission, but the problem is he's exposed his back to some power striking.
And again, that's why it's not as maybe utilized as was once a staple in MMA, because of the evolution and the fact that you are really giving up positioning if you're not successful.
Yeah, and there's a difference between the leg locks of, say, jiu-jitsu, judo, and submission wrestling as to sambo as well, because in sambo you can't punch to the face. So it's a different sporting style. So you see a lot of these cats are sitting straight back and sort of exposing themselves in position. Really, you should be rolling, you should be turning out, you should put your body in a position where you can't be stepped up on or have someone get in an advantageous position while you're taking the risk.
And the referee forces them to stand up as we come up on the final 3 minutes of the second stanza. Ilya Berezhnov, 25. He's 3-1. Turhan Suleimanov, 22. He is 2-4. Inside low kick connects for Berezhnov.
Took some nice counter shots there from Suleimanov, but Berezhnov is slowly finding his range here. He's teeing off when it comes to those low kicks, those body kicks and strikes, but he got himself taken down as a result of that.
And Suleimanov stepping away, trying to pass the guard into mount, is in half guard now. But Berezhnov doing a good job of controlling Suleimanov's posture. Suleimanov with a constant flow of right hands to the rib cage, and now looking to move into full mount. He does.
He does, and he stepped over quite easily. Saw him push that knee down. And I'd like to see him walk up high on this chest, get away from those hips so he doesn't get popped over, because a taller man, he's got a taller bridge, and that taller bridge will knock you over. There it is there.
Backdoor escape by Berezhnov, and he now is in top position on Suleimanov. So back and forth they go in this grappling battle. The taller Berezhnov now an opportunity to try to maximize top position, but again has Suleimanov along the fence, not a lot of real estate in which to work.
Yeah, and I'd like to see Berezhnov pin him in there with his head. He's starting to do a little bit now, but even get that head under the chin and basically pin the whole body there so he could do some damage on it. That'll also take away the flexibility and the mobility of the man on the bottom's hips. He'll be less able to move and get to submission position.
Another stand-up ordered by the referee. Coming up on the final minute of the middle frame. Suleimanov moving forward. Pool cue jab from Berezhnov. Suleimanov throwing wildly, and it's Berezhnov who's trying to find the lane in between Suleimanov's punches.
Yeah, and Suleimanov's doing a good job on his punches of looping him in high. So a smaller guy can punch, you know, sort of up, and that's a huge advantage if you're willing to move your head around like Mike Tyson used to and kind of move your body into different positions. It exposes good counter striking and also catches your opponent with his chin up.
But now it's Suleimanov catching Berezhnov, sinking in both hooks, and now with only 10 seconds left, though, Suleimanov is going to have to, well, he's not going to have time, but Suleimanov ends the round in dominant position.
Both fighters slow to get up. You can see they've pretty much exhausted that initial blast of energy, felt each other out. Now it's time to get down to business.
And we can praise the powers that be, as my man watching on Clash TV in Cambridge, Ontario, Canada, at Casa Usanovic here is telling us that yes, he can hear Frank now, and the world is a better place because of it. Not only an undefeated UFC champion, but a prototypical mixed martial artist who is being celebrated, in fact, as we go into our vault, the Strikeforce MMA vault, for 3 fights that really put Strikeforce on the map. Frank Shamrock versus Phil Baroni, Shamrock versus Kung Lee, and Shamrock versus Nick Diaz.
Those were legendary fights, man. Certainly a great arena to be in that night.
Legendary nights at the Shark Tank, but right now we are watching action from Minsk, Belarus, the road to NFG 3, presented by M1 Global. Thanks for joining us and making yourself heard and felt on Clash TV as Berezhnov and Suleimanov, they continue to clash here in the final round. And Suleimanov with a right hand that seemed to hurt Berezhnov.
Yeah, he's sneaking in them looping shots like I was talking about. Smaller guy punching up. It looked like he landed a quick left hook there, which rattled Berezhnov. And he almost took a knee. Like he went straight down from it. I feel like he's just kind of resting in this position, this all-fours position, kind of turtled up there, looking for an escape. And there it is. Suleimanov was too high up on that position, ended up falling off the top.
Oh, but Berezhnov in top position from the guard of Suleimanov. And Berezhnov now will try to exploit this potential advantage, but I wonder if fatigue, he seems very particular, very methodical, and with this being the third and final round, this is when you have to empty the proverbial tank.
Yeah, especially for Berezhnov in this position, he needs to be letting these strikes go. It needs to be marching forward, body, head, really doing work, or they're going to stand him up, just like they did there.
Stand up for your rights. We got a Bob Marley. Hey, it's always a good time for Bob Marley. And yes, sir, Russian names are difficult to pronounce. I appreciate that, Mr. Usanovic. But we are doing our best here, and it's Ilya Berezhnov against a man by the name of Turhan Suleimanov, who's from the Republic of Georgia, which is not open, from what I understand. And Suleimanov here is working with Berezhnov along the fence. So how does Suleimanov, the smaller fighter, how does he make the most of this?
Same thing. He's got to keep that head of Berezhnov in the cage. He's got to keep him pinned up there, basically, or at least focus so his head is stuck in there. Then he's got to do work. He's got to hit the body, hit the head, even hit the legs from that position. You can see what he's doing now. He's bringing on the heat, and he's just got to avoid the legs of Berezhnov getting on that cage like he did and kicking over.
Got to work it like Missy Misdemeanor Elliott as Berezhnov now on the receiving end of this. The plethora of right hands from Suleimanov. How much more is a referee going to allow Berezhnov to absorb? He's landing with the majority of these strikes, and yet Berezhnov with another potential backdoor escape.
And Suleimanov got a little bit high on that back mount again, and it's hard because he's fighting a taller guy. He's got an arm bar on the way out, but that's it. And then you're back on your back again. That's where we see him now. We see Berezhnov in a top position again. This is his chance to do some damage, but more like you said earlier, he looks a little bit fatigued. He looks like he's kind of, marching along, if you will, but not marching to a very strict or damaging beat.
And just like the Go-Go's, we got the beat, baby. A minute and a half left here in the final frame as we are bringing you this action on Clash TV. What do you think? Final 90 seconds of this fight. Who do you have, Suleimanov or Berezhnov? And who do you think has pronounced these names worse, me or Frank? Let us know on Clash TV.
That's a challenge anybody can take on Clash TV, is that name pronunciation from different countries. I challenge anybody to challenge anybody and find the most challenging name. I think these are probably the most challenging names I've ever attempted, Mauro. I know you've done a lot more than I have, but these are a mouthful plus two.
I remember way back in 1990, the Olympic hockey teams of Canada and Finland played in my hometown of Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. I was a PA announcer, and after the game, the Finnish press came and told me, sir, you were the only person in our entire tour who pronounced the names correctly. So when given time, when given the opportunity to prepare, good things happen. But you know what? In light of what has transpired here today, I think we're doing okay. And you know who's doing better than okay? Well, Berezhnov and Suleimanov, because they have an opportunity in the final 20 seconds to really put their stamp on this fight.
Yeah, Suleimanov's done a lot of great work here, but I feel like he could make a finish if he really pushed both on the inside with the striking and then mixed those striking high and low. Both of these fighters are tired, so anything could work now.
Tick-tock goes the clock. The fight is over. And the Georgian 22-year-old Turhan Suleimanov and the 25-year-old Belarusian Ilya Berezhnov went at it. Take us through what we saw. Frank, or is it, what is it? Franco Juarez Alessio Shamrock?
It's all those things. My great-great-grandmother, who only spoke Spanish, used to call me Pancho. Pancho.
Hey, I'm a lefty, so Pancho and lefty.
She'd go, hi, Pancho. I never understood what she was saying, but she'd say, oh, Pancho.
Дамы и господа, единогласным
It's someone's right arm or left arm. Which arm is going to be raised? Left or right? Let us know on Clash TV right now. Lefty or righty?
Патриот Полок Turhan Suleimanov.
Oh, and it is a right. The right is might for Turhan Suleimanov, who topples the taller Ilya Berezhnov, but a show of sportsmanship, a grueling effort, and here's what we're talking about, Franco, or Pancho.
Pancho. Suleimanov put on a well-rounded game. He was very effective in the striking. He saw the inside leg kick there. He was very confident in his position, even here like a guard position. You see him slamming him down. You know, he worked a good game against a tall opponent. It's hard to fight a tall opponent, especially one who stands tall and has the confidence to throw against you. Suleimanov stayed in that pocket, wrestled when needed, threw those looping counter shots, and most importantly, got to these advantageous positions where he was able to wear down his opponent.